What's going on YouTube? So it's been a long time since I've actually made a video, probably a little bit under a year, but today I decided to come back onto YouTube and make one, and it's going to be about the 7 things since I've had this car since about the end of 2015. I was actually one of the first ones to buy it, but I wasn't on the YouTube as much as all these well-known YouTubers, I guess you can say, so I'm a nobody. But that being said, I'm going to do 7 things since I've had the car for at least 7 years now. So 7 things that I dislike about this 2016 Camaro, and all the 6th gen Camaros I'm pretty sure are the same. So we'll go over the 6 things I dislike. But first, I'm just going to kind of give you a little recap on where I've been, what I've been doing. Honestly, for the last 3-4 years, I really haven't done anything to this car. So for the first 2 years that I had it, I really did pretty much all the modifications you see on it right now. For like the first 2-3 years, I did a lot of this stuff. Like I said, as I was paying the car off. It does have some modifications. You can go back and see some of my other YouTube videos. So I did get this carbon fiber hood. I'm not like these super rich YouTubers that have like these fancy garages. I don't even have a garage. So honestly, this car sits out like in the sun all day every day. Like I don't have a I guess I could probably invest in the cover, and I probably should, because I think right now my main concern is like the least of my worries should really be like scratches. It should be more about just preserving the paint, like the color of the paint, I guess you could say. But anyways, going back to that, I don't have a garage like these fancy YouTubers, so the car sits out. This carbon fiber hood, if you're thinking about getting a carbon fiber hood, just remember, like if your car sits out like mine did, it's gonna turn into looking like doo-doo. Like this looks really bad. This is how it used to look. I don't know, yeah, you can see it right there, right? So that's how pretty it used to look, and that's how it looks now. So that is terrible. Basically what happened is the clear coat, I guess started to, you can see it already here, the clear coat started coming off and it started to crack. So I have somebody that could actually repair this, but their turnaround time is probably about 2 to 3 months, and I don't know if I want to wait that long or I want to try to find somebody locally to do it, so we'll see. But I just kind of wanted to give you a rundown on that. And then of course I haven't made a video since, but I moved locations at my job. So I used to take this as my daily driver. I don't daily it anymore. That's why I say it sits out in the sun all day every day. Even if I did, regardless, it'd sit out, right? But anyways, I broke the splitter going to McDonald's. Out of all things, they had a dip, and I accidentally let go of the clutch, and I took that dip too hard, and basically all I did, it barely nicked it, but it was enough to break my splitter. So I already got one on order, and it's been off the car for I don't know how long, probably about, I would say a good 2 years since I have not had a front splitter, and that's just because like I said, I haven't really done any modifications. It's not my daily anymore, so I kind of didn't mind not having a front splitter because I could, I could live without it. But right now I'm trying to get into the whole, I'm not trying to get back into the car scene, I'm just trying to get back into doing cars and coffee and stuff. So I want to fix this thing up a little bit. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the top 7 things I do not like about this car. The USB charging spot. So most of y'all know it's gonna be hot as hell. I have a mess in here, by the way. Oh, and oh yeah, this lens is a lot better. I had another lens on my other video, and I was not able to record anything. So my first complaint would be the USB charging slots. I'm gonna take off all this stuff I have here. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I know a lot of people complain about the room that you have in this little armrest storage. I don't really care too much about that. As you can tell, I have nothing but junk in here anyways. But the biggest gripe I do have is that, for example, look at this USB slot. Like, this is where the USB slots are. You got one here. Let me see if I can focus that. You got one there where the little red cable's at, and then you got the other one right next to it. So this focus is shitty. There it goes. So basically, that's the spot. So if you have as much junk as I do, and I want to like take it off and switch it out or do anything else, I have to take all this crap out, and literally I have to go through and put like another USB charger there. If someone wants to charge their phone, like if they have an iPhone and I have an Android, they want to put another charger, they got to do that. And that's what sucks about that, is that you would have to go through and take all that crap out. But not only that, I have a 1SS. I know there's some cars out there that have the charging ports. I mean the charging like the pads, but I don't, right? So the thing about that is that thing is super slow. Like, I just spit. I don't know if you can see that. That thing is super slow. So not only does it, like, the location of it suck, but it's really slow. So number 2 is actually going to be right next to it. So let me get back in here. I kind of wanted to stay out of here because it's hot as hell here in Texas right now. But I'm going to get in anyways. And my other complaint would be, and I guess I could have prepared for this a little bit better, is going to be the cup holders. So you can tell, easily tell, and if you own a Camaro, you know what I'm talking about, the cup holders. You have one large cup slot, and then you have one small slot. I don't know, come on, man, like, why do I want a large, like a regular size, this is a regular size cup slot, and this is like a, I don't know, like a miniature one. I got a sun bum. I don't have a drink or anything like that, but I got a sun bum to compare it to. As you can tell, you could already see it on camera that it's like, it's a big difference. See if it focuses. Huge difference. I hate it because whenever I go to drive-thrus, I always have to get a cup holder regardless, because I have a family of 3. So anytime I'm ordering for my family. And even if I wasn't, like, let's say if I'm just like, if my fiance didn't want anything, right? Or if my son didn't want anything and I get two large cups, like, I can only fit one here. So regardless, I'm going to need a cup holder, because the other cup, like, if you ever like Whataburger, right, or Chick-fil-A, like, their large cups, 2 of them wouldn't fit here, and if they did, it's going to be like super crammed and you most likely will spill it on the way home. So that would be one of my other complaints about the car. The second thing I dislike about it. Third thing I would say that I dislike about the car, and this doesn't pertain to everybody. Sorry, it's like, it's super hot, and honestly I'm pretty sure I just had COVID, so like I'm trying to recover. The third thing I would say that I dislike about the car is going to be the quality of the car. Like, the interior feels super cheap, but not just that, like, most of this stuff is all plastic, especially on the 1SS, and I'm pretty sure even in the Z01 most of the interior is plastic. But even the stuff that you do have, so check this out. Check the stitching on this stuff. Like, it's already coming apart. I don't even daily my car in 7 years, I guarantee, like, it just in 7 years this car has 33,000 miles on it. So that kind of tells you how much I really don't drive the car often, not anymore at least. And I just, like, honestly I really baby it. I know everyone's gonna give me crap about that, but it's my car, and that's just kind of what I like to do, is I like to baby it. So that's coming apart, like the stitching to bring the seat forward. And then let's see if you can see this right there in the mirror. You can start kind of seeing it's starting to peel for some reason. And like I said, cars, like, I mean, yes, I know it sits in the sun, but I have a sun visor that I put on. As you can see, sun visor is always on for the most part, unless I'm just taking like a quick trip somewhere. So for this to be, or for the mirror to be already like starting to crack on the edges, that kind of, it's pretty bad. You could kind of just tell that GM's quality inside the car is pretty, it's poo-poo, to be honest. And then if you can't really see, and I'm not going to point it out, you can kind of see the edges right there. You can kind of see how the edges are going. They're a little wonky. Right there you can kind of see the little, like, the felts. So the roof liner's actually already starting to come apart as well. And like I said, 33 miles, 7 years, hardly even drive it. It's pretty bad to see that. And that could be honestly an issue because of this sun visor. When I put it on, it's probably starting to lift that. But even then, like, going back and, like, come on, man, look at my door, it's all plastic. So the interior is super cheap. But like I said, you could do little stuff to make it look a little bit better. But that being said, the fourth thing is going to be, it's not going to pertain to everybody, but it's going to be the first to second gear on the manual transmission. That first to second gear, if you drive a manual transmission, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. First to second gear shifting sucks. And I've done like the skip shift eliminator, and I've changed out my fluids in order to see, like, if it actually works to shift a little smoother, and it does. It's not so bad, but it's still pretty clunky. So just to make like a quick, like, fourth thing that I dislike about this car would be that just like the manual transmission, the first to second is super clunky, and it's just something I do not like in this car. So going on to the fifth thing that I dislike about this car is, of course, the windows, right? Bam. You could tell these windows, super tiny, right? They're small. What can you really, like let's say if you're gonna go to, it's kind of going back to my whole drive-through thing. Like if I'm gonna take the car to a drive-through, you could see me in here. You can see how busted up I look. I hurt my shoulder lifting, so that's why I got this on there, so don't make fun of me. But so you could see how small these windows really are. And I'm not really complaining about this window, the quarter window. I'm complaining more about the main window, right? So whenever I go to a drive-through and I want to get a drink, imagine if that drink is like, for example, this is like an Atom spray, right? So this is, I would say this is about the same size as like a normal drink with a straw or whatever. Even without a straw, it looks like pretty normal. So if you compare it to the window, holy sh. Okay, maybe it's not. Yeah, I'd say it's about. This is probably like a large drink at a like at a fast food joint, right? This is probably like about a large drink at a fast food joint. You could kind of see in comparison to the window. You're gonna either have to turn this sucker sideways, or you're gonna try to have to just like fit it in, just like smash that sucker in. That's what I dislike about the Camaro, is the window size. So even with food, you're gonna have to, like, they'll give you bags of food, right? Especially if you order a lot, they'll give you a bag, and then you have to like try to squeeze that bag into your car. So that's always fun. So that would be the fifth thing I dislike about the Camaro. Now going on to the sixth thing I dislike about the Camaro would be that, honestly, the paint scratches extremely easily. I don't know if that's just my opinion or if other people are having problems with their Camaros, and it could be just, honestly, it could just be all the new cars in general. I mean, people, these manufacturers are probably cheaping out to try to, you know, make a profit. So it could just be most cars. But for me, the Camaro scratches extremely easily. Like I said, this car sits outside all day, every day. So sometimes I'll go and wash it, and like I said, I rarely drive it. I really don't do too much driving. So I'll always notice like an extra scratch here or there. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, it could have been, yeah, it probably could have been from some branches, from the trees. Maybe just like a small branch, but even then, that's just like, okay, it just barely nicked it, and it probably scratched it. So, or it could be, I mean, there's animals all around here, so it could be that too. But honestly, it really does scratch really easily. And I'm not like I said, I'm a normal person. I'm a normal YouTuber. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't have, you know, thousands of dollars like everybody does. So the car isn't like ceramic coated, or it's not like protected by that special film. Though I'm a normal person with a normal car. I would like to think, right? I just like doing mods like you and I, like a normal person, and like have to save up money to do stuff like that. Don't get paid off of YouTube. Don't get thousands of dollars doing side stuff or anything like that. Just got a regular job. So that being said, my car sits out and it gets scratched easily. And even then, when I do decide to drive it, rock chips, of course, I get rock chips in the front end, and of course, like, other stuff pops up randomly, and you try to baby it, but sometimes you just can't. So that would be the sixth thing I dislike about the Camaro, is the paint scratches easily, and that's just my opinion. And I don't know if anyone else has issues like that, but that would be the sixth thing for sure on my list. Okay, the seventh and last thing that I dislike about this Camaro, and it's not just Camaros, it could be any sports car that you got, right? But this car gets a lot of attention. Like, no matter what you're doing, like, it gets a lot of attention. So basically what happens is, like, for example, if I want to be at a stoplight just chilling, you could have like a truck, right? Or even like a Honda or a Mustang or a Challenger Charger, whatever, pop up to you, next to you, and just be like, hey, like, start revving the crap out of the cars and like trying to show off in front of me. Like, bro, like, I'm just trying to get home. Like, I just came back from my job, and I just want to get home, right? Or I just came back from eating, or I got to go pick up, somebody, my son and my fiance. I got to go do something, right? And they're over here just revving, trying to race. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not trying to race. Come on, man. So that would be, I don't know what's flashing on my screen, to be honest. That would be the seventh thing, honestly, that I dislike about the car. And it could be stuff like that. And attention's not always bad. Like if you do stuff to your car, of course you want the attention. You want people to appreciate what you've done to the car. But honestly, like if you're going to a grocery store, or like if you take this to work, like let's say you take your Camaro to work every day, and you work at let's say you work at a retail spot, you want to park far, right? Like a lot of us, we baby our cars. These things, like we appreciate what we do to them, like doing modifications. I mean, we pay pretty pennies to get this stuff done. So of course we want to take care of it. We park far away, and then you know, you go into the store, 45 minutes later there's someone parked right next to you, right? So they could just be doing it because they want to see the car. Maybe they just I don't know, maybe they just want to, I don't know, give you a nice door ding and they just wanted to park next to you and do it. But it just seems like anytime you go somewhere, and no matter how far you park, there's always going to be someone parking next to you. So of course that's going back to the attention that you get from the car. Sometimes you just want to take care of your baby and other people just really don't care about it. So I would say that's probably the very last thing on my list. There is some notable mentions. A lot of people complained about the back seat. I've seen so many videos on YouTube before I decided to make my own. I know I'm not going to be the greatest out there. So many people complained about the back seat, right? Honestly, you bought a sports car, you knew what you're buying. There's no back seat. Like if you wanted a back seat, you probably should have went with a, you know, full-size truck or SUV. So I knew what I was buying. I knew there was going to be no room in the back seat. I honestly don't even care because I was buying the sports car. So that's exactly what I was doing. So I'm not going to complain about the back seat. I'm not going to complain about the visibility. Like I said, you knew what you're buying. There's no visibility. Yes, there's some visibility probably on like the Charger Challengers. Yeah, they're more boxed and they don't look as good as Camaros. I'm sorry. Let's just be honest. So I actually would rather have no room in the back seat and limited visibility, just to make the just because I love the way the car shaped is. So honestly, that's not like, I don't know, that's just, to me it's silly that someone complains about that because they knew exactly what they were buying. So I wouldn't even complain about that room. I've heard some people complaining about the room inside the car, besides the back seat, right? Like there's nowhere to place, I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth. There's nowhere to place your phone. Well, honestly, yeah, there's probably nowhere to place your phone. Here, you can place your phone in the cup holder, but if you wanted to use the cup holder, guess what? You can probably place it on the seat. If there's someone in the seat, well, guess what? You could always buy one of these clips. You can put your phone right there. So there's always ways around stuff. So when it comes to room, I really don't complain about that either. You could probably fit some sunglasses in there if you really wanted to, or even on the top. You could find a way, right? You didn't buy the car for room. You bought the car because you bought the car for the looks, right? You bought it because it's fast. You bought it because it's more aerodynamic than SUV, truck, whatever. And honestly, you bought it for speed, so that's exactly why you bought it. And of course, like I said, maybe you bought it because you wanted a little bit more attention, and you just like, hey, like look what I got, which is nothing wrong with that. But anyways, that's gonna be it. I just wanted to mention a few other things that everyone else has mentioned, to save you some time from going and watching their YouTube videos. I'm just playing. You can go watch your YouTube videos. I don't care. I appreciate y'all stopping by and watching mine anyways. And I'm sure that those guys that made that content are stopping by my video like I did with theirs, and we're sharing the same feedback. But that is all I got for today's video. It's going to be super long. I was kind of going through and seeing how long I'm talking, and honestly, I'm sweating my balls off right now. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video right now, where it's at. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've actually made a video. I'm sorry if I'm trying to this is my first time recording with this camera. I just got a new camera, so I'm trying to record with it. I'm trying to learn how to maneuver this thing. It's a little different from the one I used to record with. But that is all I got for y'all today. So thank y'all for watching. I'm out.